Is 20 accounts really better than just having one simple funded account that you can get money from? In this video, we're gonna break it down. For those of you new here, my name is Forrest. I invest stuff. I've been prop trading for going on about 2 years here, and I've been day trading in general for about 5 years, and I've been trading in general for even longer than that. I started my career at a retail brokerage, Edward Jones, you've probably heard of it, which isn't really a day trading firm, but that was my first exposure to the markets. My background is as a software engineer, so I was working there writing code. Did this cool rotational program, and I've been dabbling in the markets ever since, right? Went on to write code at a ton of other companies, worked at Boeing, things like that, kept trading the entire time, and here I am day trading every single day. We have a community called Trade Edge, where we're looking for the edges of the market every single day. And if you want to find the edge of the market, you can join us. There's a link below, wap.com/tradeedge. We would love to have you. So there are prop firms out there. There's a few. There's apextraderfunding, big dog in the marketplace, right? Very, very popular. A lot of people use them. I use them to this day. So I want to call that out. Full disclaimer, I use Apex still. I use My Funded Futures, which is my favorite, my go-to now. Purdia is another one that I use. There are other firms out there offering 20 accounts. FlexiTrade is another one. I'm going to do a review of them eventually. Still waiting for them to mature a little bit. They're brand new. But the point is, there are multiple firms now offering 20 accounts. And why would you do 20 accounts? Well, the idea is that you can scale instantly. So maybe you're only making $100 a day, but if you do 100 times 20, now you're making $2,000 a day. Sorry, not 20,000. If you were making $1,000 a day times 20, now you're making $20,000 a day. So it's very, very appealing for that reason, because you can get this instant scale. But then the question is, why not just scale up with contracts, right? Why not just get an account that allows you to do the same number of contracts in one account? Ultimately, it doesn't really matter how you make money, so long as you make money, but the type of account and the strategy that you choose can make that harder or not. So I want to do some math, and really this is going to be the journey of many different types of traders that are trying out different prop firm approaches. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll better understand what makes the most sense for you. Regardless of what account you choose, best deals and discounts are down below in the bottom of this video. So we're going to use Apex 50K account as an example, and we're going to compare that to an end of day 150K account, expert account at My Funded Futures, just for the sake of example. And my goal here isn't necessarily to say that one is better than the other, but really you need to understand your trading strategy. Okay. I use both, copy trade across both. Okay. Full disclaimer. That's what I literally do every single day. So before you all get all up in a tizzy, just realize I use both. But depending on where you are, maybe you'll use one or the other. Let's take a look. So we are looking at a spreadsheet. If you've never opened a spreadsheet in your trading career, you're probably not a profitable trader. It seems disconnected, but you really should be doing these things, planning, figuring out how you're going to get from zero to success. So My Funded Futures versus Apex. Okay. So we'll say the firm. We have MFF and Apex, and let's actually zoom in a little bit. I'm using this on my Mac, which is a little bit weird. Is it shift? No, I just want to zoom in. I just want to zoom in, guys. Let's find what we'll do. Let's select the entire sheet. We'll just make the font size 18. There we go. So we've got My Funded Futures and Apex. Cool. The size, account size, is going to be a 50K account, which is kind of like it's $2,500 a drawdown, versus a My Funded Futures 150K expert. We could even do this comparing to if we actually just go to apextraderfunding's website, let's take a look actually. We'll go to apextraderfunding, just their website, and we can even do a 1-for-1. So their 150K has a 9K profit goal and a trailing threshold of 5,000. Okay, pretty close to My Funded Futures, which is, let me open up My Funded Futures. We just want to go to the website. If we look at their plans, okay, the 150K expert has a profit target of 12,000, max position of 12. Okay, you can see that they have a 30% off. You can use that with my code welcome 30% to get 30% off on the expert right now. But trailing drawdown of $4,500, and it's an end of day trailing. So we've got $4,500 end of day trailing versus $5,000 intraday trailing. So let's go back to our spreadsheet. We're going to do 150K account. So trailing is end of day. This is intraday. Okay. And The profit target on the My Funded Futures is 12K, and on this it's 9K, I believe, right? Cool, profit goal 9K. All right, so let's talk about this. And obviously with Apex, if we look at the number of accounts, it's 1, and for here it's 20. You could get 20 of these, okay, intraday. Let's talk about cost. Cost on one My Funded Futures account is, well, here it's $297. Apex $297. Really times, I think they still have 80% off. So this is going to be equal to 297 times 0.2, $60 per an account. Let's go ahead and do that. And for My Funded Futures, it's $263 per month. This is monthly. Okay. Do that. And we'll do total cost. This is just going to be equal to this. And this is going to be equal to this times 20. Okay, cool. So there's our cost. This is roughly a fourth of this cost, about a fifth of this cost, right? We could do that math to figure out how many times this goes in this. We can do 1,1188 divided by 263. Okay, it's 4.5 times bigger than that. Nonetheless, okay, how do we actually pass these plans? Okay, let's talk about your typical journey with Apex. You have a trailing that is 5K. I actually need to put the actual target here. So let's insert another roll here. This is My Funded Futures, $4,500. This is $5,000. Okay. So you're trading an Apex account, right? You have $5,000 intraday trailing. You need to make a 9K profit target. Let's actually take a look at the charts and see, the type of money that we could actually make. I just filmed a video, so this chart's pretty crazy looking right now. Let's actually just look at, we can go over to M&Q, which shouldn't have anything on it. Cool. So we can look at the M&Q chart, and we're trying to make, 9K or 12K each. Now, this was a long that we talked about in our Discord down here. Okay. If you would have taken this long, I know we're on M&Q, so you could take it with, 2 NQ, which is 20 M&Q. You could do 5 M&Q, 10 M&Q, whatever your size is. Okay. On My Funded Futures, you have end of day trailing drawdown, which means you have the ability to lever higher without blowing up during any drawdown. So in this session, let's figure out what some of our drawdown periods were on the 1 hour. So from here, say we long from here. Okay, we long at the lows. We'll do an option J. We long here. Let me minimize this a little bit. Long here at the lows. This is an actual trade that we took, by the way. Okay, from here to here was green, 182 points up. And then from here to here was 83 points of drawdown. So we have 83-point drawdown period. Now on both types of accounts, if we long here, let's say we go long with 3 NQ. Long here at the lows with 3 NQ. Okay, so let's ignore how much profit we're in. It really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is drawdown. So 83-point drawdown with 3 NQ. Let's do the math. Okay, 83 times 60 is $4,980 of drawdown. Okay, from here to here is $4,983. Okay, for yours who don't get that, 1 NQ is $20. So you do 20 times 3 times 83 is $4,980. Okay, $4,980 of drawdown. Okay, and now let's review again in our spreadsheet. You have $5,000 intraday drawdown. Okay, trailing drawdown. Okay, trailing drawdown, which means that there's no way you can do 3 NQ on that trade on Apex, which means you're going to have to trade smaller, which means it's going to take longer. Now, I always advocate for trading smaller in your account so that for this reason. It's literally for this reason, so that you can pass. If you're a consistent trader, imagine you're somebody who's already a profitable trader like I was, and you come into these accounts, okay, and you want to trade normal size. Okay, I want to trade like 3 to 5 NQ, which I do in my personal. I come here, I'm like, okay, I want access to the contracts. So I come in, I want to get the account, I want to get a larger account, 5,000 intraday trailing, cool, seems fine. I long 3 NQ, and I'm only $20 away from hitting a drawdown on 3 NQ on a move, by the way, that is very, very green. I mean, look how green this move is. Look how up this move is. Okay, My Funded Futures, we're coming from here to here. We're up 103 points, right? We're up 3K on this move alone here, right? We're up 6K, over 6K is 104 points. We'll actually just do the math here. So from the lows to this first top here, 183 points. Okay, so we'll do 60 times 183. We're up $10,980. Okay. Almost 200 points. Okay. Makes perfect sense. So you can actually take these sizable long trades on my funded futures, which is getting closer to what you will ultimately want to do anyways, which is get into these longer holds with decent leverage. Now, obviously you can scale down, right? We could do 1NQ. Let's do the math on 1NQ. Okay. So if you long here with 1NQ, we'll do the same thing. We'll get rid of this. 83 points of drawdown with one contract is going to be 20 times 83, $1,660, $1,660 of drawdown. Okay, on my funded futures, again, it's irrelevant. On Apex, this is also not that bad of a drawdown. You're decent. But look at some of these other moves. This is a pretty tight pullback. Let's imagine you longed from here. You took a long earlier in the session. You wait after the data. Okay, you take a long from here. Comes up, that's 193 points. You're up 193 points. And then it comes down to this long here, down 240 points, 247 points. Now you longed a little early, but you want to hold. Okay, so if we long here after this move, and we're assuming the macro move, your macro call is right. And this is not a bad trade, by the way, right? By any means, right? This is a solid macro. If you're just reading the macro, rejection of this trend line, this is actually a really smart macro trade. You just have normal price action. Like it came down, retested the trend line and went up, which happens literally all the time. We just look to the left so we can see it came up, retested the trend line, and then it launched off. That's literally just what we did here. We hit the trend line, came back, retested it, and we launched off. Cool. So I need to eat 237 points of drawdown. Okay, let's do the math. 237 times 20. One contract. This is one contract. $4,740 of drawdown. Now, on my funded futures, this would blow you up because the end of day trailing is $4,500 if you didn't build any padding. Now, the key difference here is that my funded futures, the drawdown stops. What happened to my spreadsheet? Okay, here it is. My funded futures is end of day trailing, but it caps end of day trailing, but caps at the trail. Okay, very similar to what Apex does. So what does that mean? That means once you get $4,500 in your account, the trailing stops there. So you're still going for 12K, but your trailing doesn't keep going up until 12K. So if you do $6,000 of profit, you have padding essentially built in, even in your eval. So you get padding in your eval. Apex, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, or whatever profit level you're at, you have this trailing drawdown. And if you end up red on the day, then you're going to end up with even smaller drawdown. So this trade in particular, if we go back to our green here, if you were already green, let's just write this out. If I have a buffer or padding built into my MFF account, this drawdown is nothing. Okay, so it still doesn't matter. I might have to trade down if I just open my account. This obviously would blow the account. But no matter where I am in my Apex account, I'm close to blowing up. I'm going to start sweating, right? And this is on a trade that ultimately is going to be extremely green, by the way. This is an extremely green trade. If we look at this entry to here, okay? So we can see the pros and cons there. Okay, MFF, if you just bought it, you blow up. But if you didn't just buy it and you have padding built in, it's literally meaningless. Apex, you don't blow up, but you're about to. And this thing, you're very, very close to about to on that trade. Okay, again, looking at the drawdown here, which was 234. I may have did a little bit more, but yeah, 237 times 20, $4,740 of drawdown. Okay, well, let's call it 4,700 of drawdown, 4,700 of drawdown. Okay, if you take the earlier long, and you're sweating. So our goal as prop traders is to not sweat. We wouldn't be in trades where we're not sweating. Which goes back to the original thesis of this video, whereas you want to get paid. You want to get paid. We all want to get paid as traders, whether we're trading our personal accounts or prop accounts. So in order for me to pass, okay, without sweating, I need to make the determination of there's a balance between the size, the amount of risk that I want to trade on a normal basis versus how that risk level is most likely to blow me up based off of the type of rules I have. Okay. With Apex, the trailing it's always right there. It's following you no matter how green you are until you pass. And then there is this, you go to the funded level and it works again. My funded futures. Okay. You build a buffer. You can build a buffer with my funded futures in the eval, and then you can build that buffer again in kind of similar to Apex, where you can build that buffer again. So when it comes to just having the one account, I do think it's easier. And this is my opinion on this video. Okay. I think it's easier to have one account with higher drawdown, end of day drawdown. There's a few different firms that offer that. My Fund of Futures, I use it for the sake of this video, does that. Purdia is another one that does that. And there's other firms out there that do it. So if you're using one, you don't have to use these. That's fine. If you do use them, use my link. Okay. But you don't have to. I just want to say that from my experience and looking at the struggles of traders in my own community, Twitter, all over the internet. Okay. Trailing is just harder to deal with. So if your goal is to get 20 accounts and you come out the gate with 20 accounts, you drop $1,188, you will not achieve your goal of scale. You will not get paid. What you could do is just get one account, which is going to allow you to build padding in your eval. You can go for the bigger EV trades, these 200, 300 point trades with a decent amount of risk, actually, on average, not sweat the hold, get a payout, right? And actually achieve your goal of making money. Apex scaling is great. It's an amazing tool if you can do it. If you can do it. If you can do it. If you can't do it, it's a huge waste of money. Then you've just wasted all this money. It's not actually doing anything for you. Now, the obvious thing is that you could reduce this down to one account. Okay, you have the $59, and then this is equal to $59. You could get a payout, and then you could scale up. You 100% could do that. But in that scaling process, right, if you blow up 4 accounts at once, 5 accounts at once, 10 accounts at once, 15 accounts at once, whatever it is, there's people on YouTube blowing up 20 accounts at once all the time. Don't play that. Don't play the gambling simulator, right? There's people doing math on like pass rates on accounts and all of that. The best way to make money as a trader is learning how to trade for real. Okay, I'm telling you, trying to get a 6-figure payout by 20 accounts on prop firms, 100% possible. The best way to do that is by trading for real. I'm not against it by any means. I don't want to make you guys think that's the point of this video. It's not the point of this video. The point is making sure you choose a path that is possible. Choose a path where you can actually get paid. Not a path where if everything goes perfect at all times, you make 0 mistakes, which is you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're making way more than 0 mistakes. You're going to fail. Okay. Choose a path that is possible. Cost is a concern as well. You do this, you drop 20 accounts, you just spent $1,100. You do it again, you spent another $1,100. And again, the failure rate on trailing accounts from any firm, not just Apex, is way higher than these end of day drawdown accounts, right? Apex does have, and I'll go over to their site right now. They do have a static account. Okay, static account, which is just a regular. This is actually the best account in terms of this like risk on the site for sure. Okay, smallest, you don't have access to a ton of leverage, but you just have 600. Is basically you're getting $625, and every dollar you make on top of that is just adding to your buffer. Okay, and into infinity. You know, in a sense, some of these larger accounts on Apex could actually make more sense then, because you have a bigger trailing. The larger the trailing, I know the profit goal here, 20K, for example, and 300K could be scary, but you have $7,500 of trailing. So if you look at our examples, none of the examples that I showed you here would blow you up. And what's really cool about that, not blowing up, if you don't blow up, I can't actually get to my chart. Oh, we want to go to this chart. Oh, where was the chart I was looking at? It was this one. Okay. If you don't blow up and you actually capture like these 300 point longs, this was a 400 point long here too. There was actually a macro here at 815 that we have on my other chart. Okay. We can see that it's in this LVN here. I didn't hold this, only got like 250 points on this trade, but it ended up being, I should have held. That's something I got to work on. Went up 400 points. One contract, that's 8K. It's over 8K, right? It's over $8,000, assuming you're perfect, which nobody is. But let's just say you get 400 points and you get 8K in one session. Suddenly, making $20,000 doesn't seem so impossible. And you have to realize your trailing is $7,500. So you would have to go red 300, a little under 400 points, and actually to blow up the 300K account. So this is all I want in this video. Perspective, guys, perspective. I know some of these accounts have lower profit targets and it seems easier. So you get 20 of them. Well, maybe you should get 300Ks, one 300K, past that. You know, go to My Fund of Futures, which has end of day, which I think is significantly better overall. Regardless of the firm, end of day trailing is just better for passing an account because you don't have to worry about normal higher highs and higher lows, right? Markets don't go in one direction. There's always a pullback. There's always a retracement, right? They have to find liquidity to continue the move. Okay, the market's an auction. It's going to go up and down. So why get an account that's going to punish you for normal behavior? Which is what trailing does, right? Trailing forces you to trade smaller. End of day trailing forces you to trade smarter out the gate. But once you've built in that padding, you're good. You're totally good. The other rules matter too: consistency, scaling. I'm not even going to worry about all that. That's all once afterwards. Doesn't really even matter. Cost is a huge concern as well. People look at this and go, well, this is $263 versus, Apex. Well, if you fail constantly, which a lot of you guys are, okay, if you're churning through stacks of 20 PAs because you're gambling them, right? You're doing the strangle strategy to pass half or whatever. You're getting these accounts and you have no strategy to actually trade for real. What are you doing? You're not going to achieve your goal. Okay. And this is all about achieving the goal. This video is all about achieving the goal. How can I actually get a payout? Even just a modest payout. Maybe you want to get 5K payout, which is the whole other thing, right? Apex caps you on your payouts on the account regardless of the P&L with the consistency rule. So you do all this work with scaling, but if you're only getting 3K per account after you made 10K, what's the point? My Fund and Futures doesn't have that. So weigh both, okay? Weigh both. There's pros and there's cons. I think regardless, if you're a newbie and you're struggling and you've experienced all of these blowups and failures, then try a different type of account, right? If you're going the 20 account route with Apex, try getting less accounts of larger value, like the 250 or the 300K. I know it seems counterintuitive, but getting away from that experience of blowing up is going to help you, right? Because it's closer to trading a real account. In a real account, you're not blowing up all the time, hopefully. Okay, you have more padding. You're dealing with a different set of rules, margin requirements, and things like that. You don't have trailing. You can track your performance without this imminent failure right behind you. Okay, it's something that only exists in prop firms. There's more failure states, right? And when you experience a lot of failure states, it can be hard to focus on winning, right? And that's just for anything in life, right? You can only get beaten up so much. So trade smart, create a plan, trust the process, and you'll do just fine. If you want a trading community, again, join us, wap.com/tradeedge. We trade every single day, 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we're very often on longer than that. Shoot me a DM if you want some help. And if you need an account with the best deals to any of these firms, use my link down below. FORCETRADING for Apex. They still have 80% off throughout all of May, which is an amazing deal in terms of leverage. I've talked a lot about how Apex has, on a per cost basis, access to the best leverage. Again, think about everything I said in this video. Only matters if you pass. My Fund and Futures has the best backend in the industry, in my opinion, in terms of stats and journaling. Like there's things like TradeZella where you got to like transfer your statistics, but like My Fund and Futures just gives it to you. It's right there. Super simple. You see your daily P&L, stats, things like that. I think they have the best back end, clean UI, clean website. They pay out super fast, like next day, which is dope. They're growing a lot, and I know that they've been hiring a lot of people and stuff because of their growth, but it's a good problem to have, right? I think they're really raising the bar in the industry, so I love to see that. Purdia lets you trade news, unique to them. Another great tool. I have links to all those down below. Yeah, cut the video.